Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. Welcome to another New York Mets franchise, episode 9 for Game 9. My name is Frank and I will be your commentator for this gameplay as I tried a different headset this game and I couldn't tell if it was working or not until I came into Share Factory to edit it, and I heard that all it was a very loud piercing beep sound. And maybe you'd rather hear that instead of my voice, but we're going to listen to my voice instead because I can't listen to that beat personally. It was giving me a headache. So I will try my best to commentate over this. As you know, we have Game 9 against Washington Nationals. Last game obviously was not too great. I mean, we know about me throwing the ball in the outfield far too often and just having good timings and nothing happening and raging and crying and complaining the whole video. So it definitely was frustrating. So once again, I'm going to try to redeem myself with Rick Porcello going on the mound. And you know what? Porcello pitched really good for me last game. I almost got 9 innings out of him. I was able to get 8. I tried to push it to 9 because his stamina was willing to do it, and I had a big enough lead, but he couldn't quite, shut the door. But I was going to need him to do that again in this game because after Steven Matz not going as deep as I'd like due to the umpire giving me a really tough time, not being able to locate my pitches, having a high pitch count, and then the game, I really felt like they don't do Steven Matz's stamina justice. So it was just like I had to pull him early and go to a few relievers. And then with Michael Wacha going up next, I really needed a deep outing out of Rick Porcello. So that was one thing I was going to try to do no matter what. I really wanted to try my best to push him, as P. Alonso did something really funny in the dugout that I liked, which I never really saw before. And going up against Austin Voth in this one, and I say it in the video, which of course you can't hear, but I was very curious that this is the pitcher that the Nationals were going to because, in my opinion, I felt like it should be Anibal Sanchez because, I mean, obviously we remember when the Washington Nationals were in the World Series, Anibal Sanchez was actually a part of that. And what stands out to me so much is that closeout game that they had where, I mean, he shut down the St. Louis Cardinals. So I really didn't understand why Austin Voth was out there, but I sure was happy as you see Jeff McNeil drives one to deep right field. That's a no doubt about it. It's out of here. Solo home run for Jeff McNeil, and the New York Mets go out in front 1-0. So, I mean, again, I'm happy that it was Austin Voth instead of Anibal Sanchez because obviously I have a much better opportunity here with him out there because he's a lot easier of a pitcher to hit. Because if he's going to throw me a hanging slider and I could get my timing good, Jeff McNeil can make good things happen. And you know what? What's really interesting about McNeil for me this year is that in opening day, I hit 3 home runs with him, and then I did hit another homer with him for a few games, and the next time I did, I hit 2 home runs with him in a game. So when I hit this home run, I'm like, all right, I bet you I'll get another one because it seems that they come in bunches when I hit one. But, now we have Brandon Nimmo stepping up to the dish, and of course, I'm going to take right here. So let's skip around. I'm going to try to cut out as much as I can, so bear with me here. So we now have back-to-back walks to Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso. So we have Robinson Cano stepping up to the dish. And this has kind of been a theme lately I've noticed with Alonso as I have not been getting many pitches to hit with him. I mean, I know he's capable of a lot of powers. Cano hits one on the ground, a double play. So that was definitely a bit of a crushing blow to me. I mean, I had good timing. I just hit the homer with Jeff McNeil. I had 2 guys on, nobody out. So now, I mean, it made it a lot tougher for Michael Conforto to drive this run in. But to get back to Alonso, as Conforto drives one to deep right field, perfect. It's out of here. A big 2-run homer for Michael Conforto, really welcoming himself back into the lineup, this time going up against the right-handed pitcher in Voth, whereas I had to face the lefty Corbin, who, even though Michael Conforto has had good career success against him, that stuff doesn't really matter in the game. It doesn't really transfer as well, but it definitely was a nice shot from Michael Conforto. But again, to get back to Alonso, I felt like I have not really been getting good pitches to hit with him lately because I really was starting to get it going with him. I was hitting more home runs and really just crushing him. I was talking about it every video, but it's like those no doubt home runs where you see that animation of him basically doing like a bat drop, kind of like the way Michael Conforto did right there. But ever since then, they have not really been giving me pitches to hit, and it just feels like, that's kind of what they're doing to Alonso and McNeil, that they're just kind of moving around them, and they're attacking Cano, and Cano has not been doing as well for me as he was before. If you remember, prior to his injury, I mean, this guy was batting like almost 600 or something crazy like that, but since he's come back, I have not been able to get the same results with him, And I don't think it's because of that knee injury. I mean, maybe. But it kind of does remind me of last year. It's like one of the excuses we were here is that, oh, well, because Cano's getting hit in the hand and whatnot, his timing is messed up. So that's why he's not the same hitter, because we know that if it wasn't for that, of course Robinson Cano would be the player that he was before, this really good hitter. But, at least that's kind of what I'm hoping. Maybe he can get healthy and give him more production. But we'll see how he does as the game progresses, as we have a 2-2 count here to J.D. Davis. And I'm taking. So, again, we're just going to take another cut. So we have Rick Porcello on the mound going up against my rival Trey Turner, and on the very first pitch, he drives one deep right center field going backward. Brandon Nimmo, I thought maybe it was going to just fly out the ballpark. It wouldn't surprise me. But with Trey Turner's speed, I mean, it was such an easy triple. So right away, I'm already getting angry. I'm just like, oh my gosh, again, Trey Turner is really trying to stick it to me. Because, I mean, I've had such a tough time getting this guy out. I'm not sure if you guys saw it in the loading screen, but when they were showing the lineups, Trey Turner's average is higher than anybody on my team. So I'm just like, I literally cannot get this guy out, as he just will not stop kicking my butt. So I really got to try to navigate around this, because all of a sudden, I mean, I'm already in trouble here. I got a runner with so much speed at third, nobody out. I just got 3 runs the first inning. I don't want to make the game, tied or really close again after I just got those 3 runs. Able to get the pop-up from Adam Ian, so now we're off to a better start. A little easier to get through the inning, so we got to face Howie Kendrick. And I have to be careful here because I have Juan Soto on deck, so, obviously I don't want to attack him, because we know that, like Trey Turner, he's been the other guy that's really just giving me a really hard time. This one gets away from Ramos, but not too far. And good thing there was nobody going to third, so I didn't throw it in the outfield. That was something that, made me happy, because that throwing the outfield thing last game was just so ridiculous. Because it always feels like it's something that I don't expect, whether it's me not being able to catch fly balls, or not knowing the rules on a drop third strike, or stealing with a full count. It's just like little stuff like that. It just kept, coming back to haunt me as we get Howie Kendrick to ground out. But, of course, Trey Turner scores that 98 speed. So now I have to face Juan Soto. And, of course, I left that pitch hanging right there, right down the middle. But I was able to get a strike. And one of the things about Rick Porcello that I say in this video, I feel that for the most part, he hit his locations, which is something that I can't say for just about all the other pitchers I've used so far. But even if, I don't hit the exact spot I'm aiming at, I hit the vicinity, which is something that is really important to me. If I want to throw it up and away, even if I don't hit that exact spot up and away, at least it's still up and away. Whether it's a little more away or a little more up, at least it's still that part of the strike zone that I was trying to attack. And I think for the most part, Rick Porcello did this. I was trying to throw a high fastball. I was able to achieve that. I strike one out, so I get out of the inning, and that was just really important, and I have liked that for Rick Porcello so far. Now we pick up with Brandon Nimmo at the plate, and for Brandon Nimmo, I mean, so far so good with him. I mean, I've been really surprised with the average he has at this point in the game right now. He's batting .370. 3-1 pitch fastball right down middle. He lines it into right field for a base hit. And I'm going to go 2 here because, I mean, with Brandon Nimmo 72 speed, I just like my chances. And I was able to get in there safely. So, again, Brandon Nimmo continues that good average that he has, batting at .370. And one thing that's really interesting for me, I say this in the video as well, but I just feel that I do actually now like having Brandon Nimmo bat second with how afraid the pitchers have been to attack Pete Alonso. I mean, you saw him draw a walk in his last at bat, but again, here it comes. They're just not throwing him strikes. So I feel that if you give Brandon Nimmo the protection of somebody like a Pete Alonso behind him who has so much power and that pitchers are afraid of, it could allow Brandon Nimmo to get more, real quality pitches to hit. Because the thing is that, Nimmo is going to lay off the tough ones anyway, is going to put himself in good counts because of his good eye. So now he's also going to get good pitches to hit. So I just wonder if, having Alonso hit where he is going to make Brandon Nimmo a better hitter. Because that would definitely be a really nice boost for the Mets. Because I say this in the video, but it's just as we have a ground ball here off Kendrick's glove, or Starlin Castro's glove, as Alonso beats it out. And they actually ruled this one a base hit, which, I mean, I thought it kind of could have gone either way, but definitely nice to get on base. Another good opportunity for Robinson Cano after he hit into that double play last at-bat, so really hoping for better results here. And Cano drives one to deep right field. Eric Thames going back. It's out of here! A 3-run homer for Robinson Cano to put the Mets up 6-1. So that was a big shot for Cano because, like I said, I was doing really well with him. Lately, not so much. He hinted the double play his first at bat, but this time able to get much better results, hitting the 3-run homer. And to get back to Nimmo, I just think that, McNeil doesn't really need protection. McNeil's a good enough hitter to where he can handle himself. But I think that if you sandwich Nimmo in between those two all-stars of McNeil and Alonso, I just think it is going to make him an all-around better hitter, which would just make the Mets lineup a better team, where it's like you have more guys on base for Alonso or for Cano or for Conforto or JD or Ramos. So, and I do think that Brandon Nimmo is going to end up being a little bit of an X factor for the Mets this season, because you know what? We saw so many guys have good seasons offensively, especially in the second half, but not so much with Brandon Nimmo. I mean, he spent so much time on the injured list due to that neck injury he suffered against the Atlanta Braves where he ran into the wall. And I just hope for him, as Conforto hits another one deep right field, that one is off the wall instead of over the wall. But I just hope that Brandon Nimmo could get back to that guy he was in 2018, because he was a really good hitter for the Mets. And it's just like, if they could get that guy again, I mean, this lineup just gets really tough to navigate. As the Nationals, they're going to pull Austin Voth here in the third inning and go to Renias Elias, who, I mean, in 5 games, his ERA is still in the ones. So, I mean, I was not looking forward to facing him yet again. He's definitely given me a lot of trouble so far this season. Now, I'm hoping for something better, because, I mean, even though I have the 6 runs, it's only a 5-run lead, and it is still early in the game. And just with the way I pitch and field and the way the Nationals could swing the bat, I mean, this game is not over quite yet. But, I mean, this is a good matchup here for J.D. Davis, because he does have the good numbers against the lefties. And obviously, he is facing lefty here. I mean, we have nobody out, so this is definitely a really good opportunity for J.D. And JD goes up the middle for a base hit. I was able to square up that changeup. I stopped Michael Conforto at third, even though the throw was offline. The hit, I believe it was like 109 miles per hour exit velocity. So I feel like it was really worth it. I didn't want to, run myself out of an inning. I have nobody out. I have Ramos at the plate, and, Ramos is a good hitter. So, I still like my chances here. So I'm not really worried about that. It leaves a fastball right down the middle. Ramos hits it to deep left field. At first, I thought Mayor's going to be gone, but then I said, wait a second, let me try to get Conforto back so I could tag up. But I didn't bring the guy that was on first base back, so it ends up being a double play. And that was really unfortunate, because just like, oh my gosh, that should have just been an easy sacrifice fly. We could continue the inning, and, Rosario would have an at-bat with a runner on base. But now that completely changes everything, because it was a double play. As I've said before, it is really difficult to control like multiple base runners in this game, especially if you want to have them going 2 different directions. It's very hard to send one guy while telling another person to go back to a base or stop. So, I mean, trying to control that, I still have not figured that out. I got excited when Wilson Ramos hit it so deep, and I just thought that it was going to go pretty far. So my first instinct was to send the runners, so that's why I kind of had to, backtrack and everything on the fly, and that wasn't easy, as now Ahmed Rosario was behind on the count, so maybe I can make something happen here, but I wouldn't really count on it, because I have struggled with Ahmed. And the thing is that, like, because he is the number 8 hitter, they are navigating him differently when the bases are empty, because they have the pitcher right behind him. So, I mean, they know that they could just work around him as Ahmed Rosario draws the walk. So as I said, the game is not over, because, of course, the relief pitcher just lines a hit into right field, and then Trey Turner was batting after him, and I figured that since the pitcher was at first base, I could be a little more careful here, because I'd have to worry about Trey Turner stealing bases, because it's just like the pitcher is in front of him, so that's going to slow him down. As Michael Conforto coming on makes a nice play for the second out of the inning. So I feel like I could walk him and not have to worry about him just going to third base or score on little stuff like that. So that made me attack him a little differently, because I really did not want to give up another hit to him. I was like so willing to just give him the walk just for my own sanity. Even if it wasn't like the right managerial decision, as I throw a wild pitch, so he's going to move up anyway into scoring position. But still, I just felt that like I really couldn't take another hit from him, because he was just giving me such a hard time. I'd rather face the other members of the Nationals lineup, which kind of was not the right choice, as Howie Kendrick lines one past McNeil. I tried to throw Trey Turner out on a ball that was hit hard, but he's still safe. I didn't even make a tag on him. So, I mean, because of a wild pitch, Trey Turner is able to score yet again. And just like that, it's a 4-run game with Juan Soto at the plate and a runner on base. So like I was saying, it's just like, I felt like I had a decent lead, but all of a sudden it's a 4-run game, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only the third inning. I've already given up 3 runs with Porcello. I'm falling behind here 3-0. My pitch count sun is going up. All of a sudden, I'm just going to blow it, and, you know, all this good game I'm off to, all of a sudden, not looking so great. Luckily, I was able to hit the corner there and not walk him. And then he hits a nice ground ball to Rizar, and I escape the inning. Thank God, because that could have got bad in a hurry. We now fast forward to the 7th inning. I have Michael Conforto at the plate after Alonso gets a hit and Robinson Cano draws a walk. I cut out all the other innings because all I was doing was getting a bunch of runners on base and stranded. I meant just so many double plays and just fly balls, good timing, nothing happening. If you guys do want to see that, let me know. I could include it. Do you guys prefer the longer video? Do you prefer a really short video? I think you probably prefer a short video. This you have to hear me talk and complain, and it doesn't take all day. But I just missed a slider there with Michael Conforto. As you remember, I hit that home run earlier. I hit a double with him earlier. So I'm really trying to see if I can continue that. Really try to put the Nationals away. I'm still only up 4 runs in the 7th inning as that one's driven to deep right center field. Perfect. It's out of here. A 3-run homer for Michael Conforto, his 2nd of the game, and all of a sudden I am up 10-3. And that was the shot I needed, because the way I was thinking about it right now was I was thinking of potentially going to Lugo for the 8th and Diaz for the 9th and try to have Porcello finish off the 7th, maybe have another reliever help him out along the way if he couldn't do it, because the way I looked at it is that with the 4-run lead, I haven't used Lugo or Diaz in a while. Some of my other pitchers are kind of tired. I don't really trust them that much, that I just wanted to get the win while I had the chance to win it, while I had a lead to protect. But when Conforto hit that home run, it really changed my mindset on the way I could do things, because I obviously felt more comfortable having a 7-run lead and knowing that the Nationals are just burning through pitcher after pitcher. So that definitely made me feel a whole lot better once Conforto hit that home run. My 60 minutes shortly runs out right around here, and I pressed the record button to continue the recording. And, I mean, it showed the little record button, but I don't know, I must have done something wrong to where the clip did not continue. So you guys are going to miss the rest of the game. I don't have the clip for it. But, you know, Jeff McNeil gets to start off right here with a double, and then right after him we have Brandon Nimmo up. And all I'm going to say is that this game does end up being a blowout, so that was really good. The Nationals don't score anymore, so that was good for me, because and they didn't really threaten at all. Because here's the thing, I went to Brad Brock in the 8th and 9th inning. He struck out Trey Turner, he struck out Juan Soto, and I don't think he gave up a single base runner. He only threw like 22 pitches for the 2 innings combined, and I was really impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to go to Brad Brock just to finally get these guys out that, you know, obviously I've been struggling so much to get Trey Turner out and get Juan Soto out. So I was like, Brad Brock is a hero for me, because here's a guy who could actually get these 2 hitters out, because all the other pitchers I've gone to, I have not been able to get those 2 guys out. So that definitely made me happy that I was finally able to retire those guys. And something I found really interesting, you want to talk about bullpens, the Nationals went to Daniel Hudson at this point, and they are down 7 runs in the 8th inning, and Daniel Hudson is not fully rested. So as a, you know, like person that I don't want to face Daniel Hudson or Will Harris in the future that much, even though this was the last game of the series, I tried to tire them out this way with the Nationals going to their next series, which is against the Marlins. I was hoping that they would have a tired bullpen so they would lose some games so that I could gain ground on them when I'm facing my next team, and that I'll be able to, you know, have definitely an advantage over them the next time we match up. Just hoping that they could be a little tired and that they lost some games along the way so that I could gain some ground in the division. And it would make these losses not hurt as much, because you know what, this division race, it is going to be really, really tight between these teams, because you know what, all these teams are good. 1 second. I had to fix something. So many technical difficulties with this video. I'm sorry about that. But I obviously know not to use that headset again, because obviously it didn't record any except the loud beeping noise. But I'll go back to the old headset for the next video. But the thing is that when you saw after Alonso got those guys on, Robinson Cano comes through. He hits a big 2-out double. Well, not 2-out double, but Robinson Cano hits a 2-run double, and that puts us up 12-3. And then Michael Conforto hit another perfect to put us up 14-3. And that was the final score of this game, 14-3. Definitely a good all-around team performance for me. Rick Porcello going the 7 innings. I would have let him go more if his energy allowed it. He was kind of yellow, so I didn't want to push it too much. Brad Brock obviously pitched a really, really good 8th and 9th inning, so pitching was good. I didn't make any errors defensively. I didn't drop the ball all over the place. I didn't throw it into the outfield, so my defense was good. Obviously, my hitting was good, 14 hits for 14 runs. And even though the Nationals were using Austin Voth, eventually I faced Daniel Hudson and some of these other, other good relievers that they've given me trouble for some reason. I've had a really hard time against their bullpen. But we are now batting on almost legend. It's on Hall of Fame plus. So sorry for technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys still enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to keep up. Tomorrow we will start the new series for MLB The Show. It will not be the Mets. But the next Mets game is Tuesday against the Houston Astros. Those cheaters. But until then, be safe, be smart, be healthy, and have a good one, everybody.